Hey guys, welcome back to another SciCraft episode. So we finally built up the gold farm and added a couple systems to it as well, like a bartering system, shulker box fillers for the nuggets, a trash can for the rotten flesh, so it gets dispensed into lava. There's still one thing we need to take care of, and that's actually about 3000 golden swords we get per hour. Now usually we could just trash them, in case this farm would be even larger scale. It's probably the way to go. Because it's not really worth it to smelt the golden swords, so we would get an additional 3000 golden nuggets. We unfortunately only get a nugget if you smelt a whole sword, which, if you ask me, actually doesn't make sense. I mean, come on, we should at least get an ingot back. If you smelt a whole sword, you need 2 ingots to craft with. You can't tell me that if you smelt a whole sword, you only get an 18th of the materials back. I mean, where's it lost? Does it just dissipate? So I guess it would actually be a good change if you would get an ingot if you smelt armor or sword, because then it would actually be worth it and everybody would be doing it. Nevertheless, kinda wanna do it anyway to smelt the swords, just because it would be a nice project. So we of course need some fuel for it. And what's better than something that is fully automatic? Bamboo we've already used for the stone generator. Here we need it as well, just in a smaller scale, and it's important that it's spawn proof, which is a bit tricky in the nether because we couldn't just use light sources. Okay, we might need to go to creative and design a small scale bamboo farm real quick for the little furnace setup. The good thing is we don't need to start from scratch. You already have a working bamboo farm. We just need to adjust in size and make spawn proof. So first of all, it's actually quite convenient that we have bamboo here. This should already make the block spawn proof. Now bamboo is also locational, so sometimes it would grow in the corner. But yeah, I think the pigment is large enough. It would always spawn in the center of the block. The bamboo would always like intersect with the collision box. So yeah, this should be spawn proof already. Otherwise we would have actually an issue. Okay, then we definitely need to add some light blocks. So it works nicely with the bamboo farm in the overworld, as long as you have skylight access. But we actually need to provide light. We need light level 9 for the bamboo to grow. And then the issue I see here is making this part spawn proof, where we lift up a part of the flying machine. I can just maybe quickly launch it. You can see how it works. And then we push it down again and push in the hopper minecarts. Technically, we can use water in nether, of course, since we have access to it, but yeah, it's a bit of a pain always to get it somewhere. I think we should just make a design that doesn't use any water as well. Okay, but this part here actually worries me. You have to pull up the slime blocks, and the only way I really see to make it spawn-proof is like having blocks above. So this would here be spawn-proof, because there's only one white gap, so mobs can spawn on it. But yeah, pulling it up here on the other end, this might be an issue. And we also really want to make it spawn proof so nobody runs into the minecarts. Not just them, then they wouldn't land where they're supposed to. Let me actually think if there's something we can do about it. I actually feel a little bit like an idiot right now, because this also works. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. I was so occupied getting this approach to work. We have the flying machine pushing this structure forward, that I, back then when I designed this, never considered we can just have it like this. Yeah, but yeah, this is also yeah, the same approach. We would have the minecart sitting on one plate, but then obviously we don't even need to lift stuff up or do anything like that. So if you just reach the one end, we're just gonna have like rails here below. Yeah, the minecarts automatically would snap to that. Through the trapdoor, and then we just drive him over to the other side and then shoot him up, and we go to this blade. Oh my god, it's actually so overcomplicated now to think about it. But we got it to work back then. Yeah, this is actually so much better. Alright, so here we are. We have a working design now. It took actually quite a long time, because the first design I had one block that was spawn proof, and there was just not a nice solution for that besides putting down an armor stand. So we spent an extra 2 hours redesigning pretty much everything here, and now it's working, although it's a little bit strange. You have the rails, had to come up with a special setup. to make the minecart unloader work. But yeah, it's really nice and compact now. Although it takes a bit of effort to get the rails to be like this. Maybe I can quickly show you. Posting also Inspector Talon showed me how to do. So how do we get the rails to not connect like this? So the first thing to do is place down another rail here and get rid of this one. Then if you put another rail down here and add a rail here, you can already place this rail down. Okay, now we just need to straighten that, just add one in the back. There you go. It's a nice trick to know. And this was important because the minecarts that are coming in here from the slime get pushed and the momentum is just slightly different from the side with the honey. So there we need those special rails, while here the sloped rails are fine. If you not do it like that, then sometimes happens that bamboo would land in the hopper where the minecart's supposed to go and vice versa. Yeah, but yeah, we got a working design now. Okay, so let's try it out. Everything should also be spawn-proof now for the nether. Example here, the torches make the slime spawn-proof. And even also activate the dispensers and power the rails, so they do 3 things in one. Because the whole machine could be a little bit smaller, so we only need about 12,000 bamboo per hour. Made it a bit larger, I think it's like 18,000 in the end now, so it's just 100 blocks long. And here on this side there's also no unloading. Just immediately change direction with this simple setup and go back the other way, because only 100 blocks long. Don't need to worry about the minecarts already being filled on one side. Okay, then let's check out the unloading here. Basically just snap to the rails below and then get aligned here by the chains. The lava cauldron, minecarts go to right, items to the left. There we go. Since we don't get a ton of items anyway, we don't need to worry about finding a replacement for the water. We just actually just have hoppers below, which feed the chests, which feed the blast furnaces. Blast furnace, yeah, actually there's a use for blast furnaces. I totally forgot about this. So I'm pretty sure I remember it from the snapshots when it was first introduced, that you can smelt swords and armor with the blast furnace, but so far we've just never done it. It's kinda already weird to actually do something with the swords. Yeah, totally forgot that you can use the blast furnace for this. So Sky found out about it again or remembered. Yeah, it's pretty neat, so you can use 4 blast furnaces instead of using 8 normal furnaces. It's actually used for blast furnaces. It's nice. Alright, that's the whole thing. We're gonna build that up in survival real quick. Okay, so finally everything has been added to the gold farm to make it as automatic as possible. Alright, where should we start? So we already know how the gold farm works from the last episode. So this is working fine. All the pigmen are transported towards the player. So the player, by the way, whacks the armor stand here every 9 ticks. So there's a certain threshold how quickly you can do the sweeping attack, which is influenced by haste as well. So that's why we have a haste 2 beacon, so we can attack every 9 ticks with sweeping. Okay, then all the items get collected by hopper minecarts, as was shown in the last episode, end up here, and that's something that has been added. The shulker box storage system, then trash for the rotten flesh, and all the swords now go into another filter that filters out every non-stackable item just with signal strength. But sometimes it can happen that maybe a rotten flesh lands in there, that would then get destroyed, just dispensed into another lava cauldron. Okay, but the rest of the swords will be put into the blast furnaces. You can see, actually nicely stocked right now. It's almost backing up here. We're getting a ton of swords at the moment, but the blast furnaces should be able to keep up. It's kind of nice to see how fast the bamboo is being used up. Alright, then we actually also put the nuggets into one of those shulker fillers for nuggets. So here on the side, all of those items will also be then automatically put towards the bartering system. There's basically 2 ways how we align the items here in the water stream. All the shulker boxes with ingots automatically get sent to an unloader, basically here. where all the ingots go. And we automatically feed the piglins with gold ingots coming directly from the farm. So we get, I think it was around 1,500 ingots per hour. And we immediately turn this into the bartered items. So there's system piglins all have leather boots, so they don't fall through the powder snow. Of course, the items that they drop wood. Okay, then we got a water stream and filter system for all the barter items. I think somebody already brought a ton of that stuff over. So there was already way more of the items. This was just recently cleaned up. And what we also have in the end is a filter for books. So we actually brought an allay over. He picks up all the books that are incoming. And in this chest, you get all the enchanted soul speed books. Can't really differentiate between soul speed 1, 2, and 3. Somebody would still need to do it manually. But it's already nice we can filter out the soul speed books. I think it's actually also possible to do this without an allay. You can filter out the potions just with a brewing stand. And the iron boots with an armor stand filter. But of course, if you have an allay, it's simpler. But allay is not really necessary for it. Of course, one more thing that could be done. You can also smelt the iron boots we get from bartering to get even more iron nuggets. But let's not be silly, we already don't care about the iron nuggets we get from this, which is like nothing compared to just the output of a small iron farm. The bamboo farm is also now working fine. This was, by the way, the previous version where we had some issues with some blocks being spawnable. To be precise, those blocks here. So we needed a block that a minecart can take off from, is spawn proof, and doesn't stick to slime. There's not a lot. We have bedrock, perfect solution. But of course, I wanted to kind of make a design that doesn't use special items or water in the nether or anything like that. Okay, there's just one thing missing. What happens to all the nuggets? They're also stored down there, and there's a little crafting system. Okay, so all the nuggets are aligned in a way that they would be aligned here by the glass pane, while all the ingots are aligned against the glass block in the back. So if you follow this, then all the ingots go to the left, while the nuggets go to the right in the water stream, and they end up here. So there we have a storage with indicator lamps, by the way. It shows how many boxes are filled. Can we check that manually as well? Yeah, all of those are filled with nuggets. Then here we have the crafting system. So we can just take out nuggets, craft it into ingots, put it into the box here again. Once it's filled up, it's getting automatically broken up the item elevator, and it's also being sent to temporary storage, so you can store up to about 200,000 ingots. And the amount of piglins we have in there also matches the speed of the dispensing system. Alright, so I also want to give you some numbers what we're actually getting in terms of barter items per hour if we invest all of our gold into bartering. So we get roughly 2,500 quartz per hour. So in case you want to build with quartz blocks, it's still quite challenging for going a really large scale. Then iron could maybe be interesting, just to see it's not that much. So it would be around 350 ingots per hour if you would craft all of this as well. Actually, not that bad, but you want to build like a large powder snow farm, a lot of cauldrons, then you definitely need something better. Then obsidian we get roughly 600 per hour for all kinds of portal projects you can do later, maybe a faster gold farm. And rest is also, blackstone is kind of good. What do we get there? Around 7,000 per hour. That's pretty decent. Gravel as well, in case we want to actually combine it with sand for the least duped concrete powder that we can make, because sand duping still needs to be done. And interesting for the cactus farm is of course the nether brick. I think we get around 3,000 per hour of that. Okay, this should be enough to supply at least the cactus farm. We don't need a ton of it. Alright, so this was our gold farming project. Definitely won't be the last gold farm on the server, but I'm definitely super happy how this one turned out. So we made a nice little gold farm that is also not too hard to recreate in case you're interested. and automated pretty much everything afterwards, which is definitely nice in that scale. So we even smelt the gold swords to get a couple more nuggets. One thing technically is missing. We didn't do the iron boot smelting from the bartering setup to get, I actually looked at the numbers, 14 iron ingots per hour. Yeah, definitely won't do it. It's just too much, because then technically we could also use the water bottles somehow. So maybe we get an AFK account that drinks the water from the water bottles we get from bartering, and then we can use the glass bottles for a honey farm later, right? That's something we could do. Or we actually use the water in order to turn dirt into mud. Then we have the water bottles as well and have a use for the water. Yeah, okay. It's just getting silly. I guess we did everything that makes sense here. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.